Hello again. I saw this comment about a video about the James Herriot TV series. I had a look for fun, just about comments because yeah, it's like woke stuff. And there's some weird comments, but also this is interesting in that it steers. That shows you. It's an example of how you get steered in. But I will tell you later a bit. It's about language. The other one was about, and I wanted to make a video about it the next day, but I didn't get around to it. A lot of stuff to do, traveling, no Wi-Fi, etc. So now I have good Wi-Fi, can do everything, so I need to sort out everything. But there's still a lot to do. In any case, the video was about a woman who didn't pay her rent. She said she was triggered by some woman where she had to go register her child. She hadn't done it in 5 months. Some guy made a comment with the video. Yeah, everyone these days who doesn't have a mental health condition says he or she is triggered, and like an excuse. And someone replied to that, and I mentioned, yeah, that guy's autistic. And also, there is a second interpretation possible of what the first guy said or wrote. And that is really the most logical explanation of or interpretation of what he wrote. But what he wrote was not really well written, let's put it like that. In any case, the most logical interpretation is not the one that the guy who replied to took. But that is really almost always the case with autists. They do not logically think and logically reason. So if you think without emotions you're better at reasoning, absolutely not. And this is also what I've seen many people say about. I mentioned this before. Yeah, men are more logical thinkers. They're absolutely not. It's absolute nonsense than women. No, absolutely not. Women just think differently. But I will go into that in my projects in this explaining everything that psychologists don't understand for some reason. But I'm using ideas and concepts, examples from outside field of psychology to make it clear how it works. But I will make a video about it in second interpretation of what the guy said about that video where the woman said she was triggered later. And by the way, this was something I was already doing a lot in school, for example, in mathematics tests, and then I thought, yeah, wait a minute, you can interpret it this way or that way, and then the teacher had to so ask about it, and the teacher had to clarify, yeah, it's meant this way. In any case, let's go to this. So this is about James Herriot. And this guy says the makers of current production have gone in for mushy, fake over sentimentality. Yeah, the original stories had a sentimental nature. Actually, it is rather, let's say, harsh about it. It's real life. Farmers are not sentimental about their animals usually. It's like they're using them to make money, to make a living, etc. Let's see. This was interesting. You almost expect Elizabethan characters to carry mobile phones, in that production. Plus we have those of a mentally who wish to erase, alter, and airbrush our history for virtue signaling reasons. Any reasonable social context is perverted for the same reason. That's true. But of course, you probably noticed of a mentally. What's that? That's not the right word. But this is close to the real word. What he meant was mentality. And that's what you need to do, of course, with especially these days on YouTube. A lot of people just write so incredibly badly that you need to sort of decode what they're saying. Although it has been going on for much longer. I've seen it in the Netherlands as well, and there was a discussion about this in the comment section of a TV guide long ago. I think I saved that. And that was very interesting. Some people said, yeah, what does it matter if you understand someone? Yeah, it matters because if you don't do efforts as a writer, then all the readers need to do effort to decode it. So you're wasting everyone's time. In any case, But this is probably could be about autocorrection on phones, etc., stuff like that. But this one is more interesting or more problematic, how you look at it. Again, I should not be surprised. I've stopped going to many things like Shakespeare proportions because they've been altered beyond belief to make them comply with what some people want to make our social norms into. Now, there's a problem here, of course. Shakespeare proportions. What's that? So when you stay in this sentence and you think, yeah, what's this word supposed to be? Yeah, it's the wrong word. It should be something different. The best way to actually get to what the right word is not to think of a word that it looks similar, but step back, take out of the sentence, go out of the sentence, just think in your mind about Shakespeare, and what you get to that is production. No proportion, no production. So the first part, yeah, that's the same, but it's very different. And when you stay in a sentence and think, keep the sentence, you read it and think, yeah, what could the word be? Then it's difficult to find the correct word sometimes because it is very different. But if you step back, then it's very easy. If you create a sentence, then it's easy. So that's what I do. I step back. Think about Shakespeare, make some sentence, well, not really a sentence, but in your mind, think about what you can do with it. Shakespeare, what do you do? A production. And yeah, then you get to the right word. But if you don't do it, you can stay stuck and you can't find the right word because you're guided by what someone wrote. And that happened exactly with that comment about being... that woman and the guy give a certain interpretation, and this interpretation of the first commenter's sentence, that interpretation goes in a certain way, and you may have gone in a completely different way of thinking, of interpreting that sentence, if you had not read that comment, the second comment. First comment you could read, think, okay, and then second comment you read, and then you think, wait a minute, yeah, there's a problem with that. But actually, you were being steered. So that's about being triggered. And it is very interesting how that works, that you can get steered. This is also what, for example, Darren Brown uses. I don't think he's active anymore in making TV series, etc. You get steered by putting words in your mind. And that's actually what psychological manipulators and what they call psychological magicians, like Darren Brown, do. There are a few other things here interesting about... this is crazy. This is about Harriet. So this is a TV series from 1930s, 40s, 50s or so. And this guy says a bit long-winded, but charming. And then I have one glaring issue with this show that I hope improves with later seasons. It's a subservient portrayal of women's roles. Portrayal of women's roles. That sentence is not correctly written. In any case, you know what it means. The women on the show are just plot devices for the men to realize their dreams or to come to some grand conclusion about the problem. Maybe that's how things were in Harriet's memoir, but for a show filmed in the 2020s, this feels very dated and annoying. Downton Abbey had a wonderful cast of strong, independent women, which is something this show is greatly missing. Maybe future seasons will fix this. Why would they need strong, independent women? You know, women behave differently in those times. And the memoirs are written from the perspective, of course, of one of the veterinarians, which means the emphasis goes to what these men are thinking about and their work. And not showing... This guy wants to alter reality or alter the past because he doesn't like it, so therefore we should not show it as it was. Well, maybe maybe you could justify that as a sort of amusement, a TV series for amusement. But it's more than that. It's also it's about actual cases. So it's the history of how things were at the time. In any case, that's it for now. Bye. I will come back to manipulation of thoughts later in another video. Bye for now.